Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our first art progress video. I am here on behalf of my team, Team Wood Kings, to speak about the art that will be added to our current game. Due to the holiday, the aesthetics of our game are still the same for the most recent video. I'm simply adding some narration to point out things that we'll be needing. Let's get started. Alrighty. And I am also using previous clips from previous recordings, simply redoing the narration. So please bear with me. Honestly, due to the short week, nothing major has changed. Alrighty, so for this particular level, this is to be a tutorial level, but programmed in the form of, what to say, an abandoned jail, captivity center. In the recent Terminator video game, Terminator the Resistance, I recently saw a destroyed hospital converted into a experiment camp by Skynet. I was considering something similar, per se. Any of my teammates who watch this video in future time frame, please feel free to add their postings. This level is Gauntlet. I'm thinking a tunnel. So far, the aesthetics, in my opinion, are better than in previous ones. We recently advanced in one of our recent playthroughs and playtests, and yellow is a bad color for that particular board due to recent added mechanics by myself, so in something else considered to the texture will be needed. The red enemies that you see before you are what we consider to be similar to perhaps zombies, cybernetic humans, some mutated humans, so to say. The red ones and the white skeletons you will also see will need to be something different for each due to the how do I put it, difference of enemies. One of them is a speed enemy, while the other one is a more the clearer texture, the clearer meshes that you will see later in the game are of faster zombies and faster enemies, while the white ones are of a different zombies. And look, a missing texture, that's an easy fix, and so on. Okay, this next one is a fighting scene between a dragon / mechanical fire-breathing beast. If you look at our Trello board, this is the boss associated with the metal Greymon post. Something around those lines is what we're looking for. Dragoon, part machine, perhaps part living creature, cybernetic dragon. One sec. There we go, I'm back. Okay, folks, we're going to move on to the eye core transition. Obviously, wall textures are going to be needing to be put in. And you see these enemies before you. These are the ones associated with the Terminator 2 pictures. I personally designed this enemy, and what I was picturing was a Terminator, the T-800 style endoskeleton that you've seen in the opening scenes for Terminator 2 Judgment Day, as well as the endoskeleton form of the that you also seen in the original at the end of the first Terminator film after a certain scene. So that's similar to what we're looking for in this one. Obviously, it does not have to be a carbon copy of the Terminator, and I trust our art department to come up with a very effective design for our machines. Yes, as well as animations will be needed: walk, running, death, etc. The sphere that you saw appear before him, that was my attempt to make an entrance kind of similar to the Terminator appearing from the electrical effect after time traveling, but I didn't have much luck in that, so I believe I've already cut that particular electrical sphere effect, but I may not have. So if you can think of a better way for the Terminator to enter, please feel free. So this next boss is what we call Tofu. If you look at the picture of the small person inside a brain, that was kind of what we're looking for, like a robot or some sort of machine with a controller, and something like the robot. Another example would be like the Krang species from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then next on our list is the I-Core boss. This is, picture a sphere, a mainframe computer that we are attempting to attack. Alright, so next, this is going to be a lot easier for me to explain. This is one of my personal levels. So you see the yellow walls, and that was the visual notification that these walls are breakable. After they do a certain amount of damage, they will explode. So obviously yellow will change, but I need a texture, and perhaps I can find it as well, because it will be easier for me to retexture the walls currently used than to have new ones to design, because the way I programmed it is it flips and changes a model to a different model that's breakable, excuse me. So it'd be very time consuming to have our art team create two models of the same, just one that's breakable, one that's not breakable, when I could simply take the walls I currently have and remove the ones, or excuse me, add a texture to the ones that are currently there. It'll be easier to flip out textures than it will be to make brand new walls. And if you notice the bug there, I recently fixed that during previous classes. I designed this particular level as like a trench run. You're inside a trench or a fortress. There used to be a ramp, but I cut that out. Now it's just straight walls. So I'll add it to the Trello board, as well as you might be able to keep the cannons as is or find something, but I was thinking a giant howitzer cannon from like World War II style. In terms of history, they used to take previous tank pieces and turn them into placed gun placements, World War II. Anyway, I'll move on to this one. So this current model you're seeing is based on the Valkyrie. It's a hovering attack troop transport helicopter, or similar to the Harrier you would see Marines. But I based it off the Warhammer 40,000 Valkyrie. And the pictures from the Trello board are from the Games Workshop model itself, because that is exactly what I'm looking for, is something similar to that. The weapons, it currently has 4 weapons, rocket pods, lasers on the sides, and the machine guns. If you need to, you can cut the lasers out, because I never programmed in the laser weapon or had issues with it, and I could see myself removing that as a feature from, or mechanic from the helicopter, so don't worry about that. Animation can be very limited for it. I just needed a tilt as if it was flying, a shake, and a fly off. If need be, I can take care of the animations in Unity and take that from a basis. I created all these animations in Unity. I can do it again if necessary with the new model, but there is a trick I learned in Scrap, so I may not have to replace, or excuse me, redo the animations. I may not have to. This particular part is one part of the level, and there's another part that comes up, and I'm going to go ahead and edit to that particular piece to show you. Folks, I edited to the Valkyrie's second half, which is quite simple. Once again, like I said, animations like that, but I'm confident I may be able to make those myself, or replace some of them, but I like to play that by ear, so relatively simple on that part. And the next level will be, I believe, to be the tank. Okay, folks, I do apologize for not having any clips of the battle tank, and I hope my Trello board describes it best, but the Lehman Russ battle tank from Warhammer 40,000 is the general inspiration that I had for that kind of tank. Something like that, something in the rear to implement that, and something that I'll be, I need to speak to Mr. Zoo tomorrow. I need to, I gotta see what's the policy for adding new items to the Trello board. I think this is going to be mid-level priority, but because I could possibly whip something up in, excuse me, in the editor, but a drop pod similar to Halo ODST or Warhammer 40,000 style drop pod. But once again, I'll speak to Mr. Zoo before I add that to the Trello board, as I don't know if it's too late to add that kind of stuff, but that is everything that I can think of about speaking about at this time, due to the fact that it was a short week. It's hard to report on much, but I tried my best. With that in mind, any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to contact myself or my team. And with that in mind, thank you, and have a good day, and enjoy the remainder of your holidays, and best of luck till end of graduation and beyond.